All right, Free Radicals, welcome back. My name is Dave, and this is The Radical Independent on YouTube today. Thank you for tuning in. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lee Camp.
A website called TDMS Research has gotten a hold of the pre-adjusted exit polls in the Democratic primary elections. Pre-adjusted means before the research company alters the exit polls to fit the unaccountable voting machine results. And in California, the exit polls showed something interesting. They showed Bernie Sanders should have done much better than the voting machines showed. In Texas, the exit polls showed something interesting. They showed Bernie Sanders should have done much better than the voting machines showed. But in Massachusetts, the exit polls showed something interesting. They showed Bernie Sanders should have done much better than the voting machines showed. However, in Vermont, the exit polls showed something interesting. They showed that Bernie Sanders should have done much better than the voting machines showed. Yet, in South Carolina, the exit polls showed something interesting. They showed Bernard Sanders should have done much better than the voting machines showed. However, in New Hampshire, the exit polls showed something interesting. They showed Bernie Sanders should have done much better than the voting machines showed. I wonder if you're noticing a trend!
You know what? Thank goodness there are people out here like Lee Camp who not only provide us with information, but actually make us laugh a little bit. Because if you don't laugh at some of this crap, you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry. Exit poll versus reported vote count. This is what Lee was talking about. Election results from the computerized vote counts of the 2020 California Democratic Party presidential primary differed significantly from the results projected by the exit poll conducted by Edison Research and published by CNN at the poll's closing. According to the exit poll, Sanders won big in California by 15%. The unobservable computer counts cut his lead by half to 7.3%. Now, again, I am a Tulsi Gabbard fan. I am not a Bernie Sanders fan. I like some of what Bernie says, but he doesn't stick up for anything. It's kind of like having a candidate with all kinds of great ideas who isn't willing to fight very hard for those ideas. And pretty much when he hits a patch of adversity, he kind of folds up like a cheap suit. Anyway, in the delegate or total delegate count to date, substituting the estimated California and Texas exit poll delegate apportionments. I know that's a little confusing. These are exit polling apportionments derived from the computer counts. I know it's very results in candidate Sanders currently leading candidate Biden by 42 delegates instead of trailing by 45. So what this says, let me explain this now, is that based on exit polling, Sanders should be leading candidate Biden by 42 delegates instead of trailing by 45. That is a 87 delegate turnaround. 87 delegates. So here's another interesting fact that Lee Camp speaks about later in his video. Lee goes on here to say that this same company did exit poll research during the Republican primaries. You know what they found? They found no discrepancy between the actual votes in the Republican primary and the exit polling data. So you could say these machines are rigged, but I guess they're not rigged for everybody. The Republicans don't rig. The Democrats rig. Unfreaking believable. I'm a Tulsi Gabbard fan. I'm wondering, like in New Hampshire, because he mentioned New Hampshire. People were stunned. Tulsi was polling 8%, 10%. I'd love to know what the exit polling was for Tulsi Gabbard in New Hampshire. She ended up with about, 3.5% of the vote? But I'd love to know where that exit polling is. And, if she had, say she had 7 or 8, 9% in New Hampshire, that's building momentum. She comes out of New Hampshire. She's right in there, right in the thick of things with people like Mayor Pete and Elizabeth Warren. And at that point, her campaign springboards, because, again, the more people get to hear her, the more they're going to want to vote for her. There's nobody better than Tulsi Gabbard out there. But, yeah, I do feel for Bernie in that regard. He's just not willing to fight for anything. He's run a campaign where now he's Joe Biden's best friend and so forth, and any blue will do. So I don't think any blue will do. And the fact that he thinks any blue will do means that I don't think he'll do. All right, I'm sorry, Bernie. I liked you for there was a little while I liked you, but so if you read on, the combined discrepancies between the exit poll and the vote count for candidates Sanders and Biden currently is 7.7%. So the voting machines gave Biden 7.7% based on exit polling. Incredible. It's just incredible stuff. So, as Jimmy Dore likes to say, the error never goes the other way. In other words, the error doesn't go against the establishment. The error goes against the candidate who's perceived as an outsider, a disruptor, somebody who actually would help working class voters. Yeah. And again, I'm not a big Bernie fan, but principally he is, I'm not going to say he's not better than Joe Biden. He's light years better than Joe Biden. He doesn't even speak in a language that you can understand at this point. And I mean that from a literal perspective. I mean, it's hard to understand old Uncle Joe, who's beginning to lose his faculties. So, again, I did 2 videos. I want to give a shout out to my friend Pasta. I know there's been a little back and forth, and when I get angry, I tend to blow off steam, and sometimes I might mention another channel that's doing this stuff, and I've watched a few of them, and I get really disappointed because many of these channels have gone all Bernie all the time, and they've really gone south on the idea of promoting Tulsi Gabbard, and I haven't done that. I've been doing Tulsi coverage since I started. All right. Originally, this channel was called Save America, Vote Tulsi Gabbard. And how prophetic of me now with the coronavirus out there. But Lee Camp here on fire. This entire segment that he does this is beyond voter fraud. This is plus there's disenfranchisement because a lot of these people are getting provisional ballots and then nothing happens after they get the provisional ballot. They fill it out and they go, I don't know if we're going to be able to count these. Why? Why not? Because they did something wrong. See, this is how you disenfranchise someone. You show up at the polling place and, are all your T's crossed and I's dotted? Nope. Okay. We'll take this provisional ballot and we'll call you. We'll let you know if you can send that in or what you should do with that. And then a deadline passes and they go, whoops, oops, can't tally the votes anymore. I think they did that in Broward County here in Florida. They did it. They've been doing it over and over again, trying to get their, neoliberal candidates elected. And it's rough. It's just rough all over. And he said here that we're a banana republic, and I've said that in a couple of videos recently. So Lee and I are on the same page, and you ought to be checking your voting system where you live. That's the thing you need to do. I mean, we need to repurpose and refocus, because we've got a system now that is so corrupted that even if we want change at the ballot box, we can't get it. Somebody imposes their will upon us somehow. And that's not democracy. It's not. We're done as, a republic, a democracy. None of the above, folks. We are drifting into a soft dictatorship. And until people wake up to this and understand, both on the left and the right, by the way. The crazy thing, though, and this is why there probably is going to be a large Dem exit. Not for the reasons because Trump is so amazing. That's not the reason. The reason is people are they've had it. And this is why I'm willing to vote green. I'm willing to look at libertarians. I'm willing to look at independents. I do not want to have this two-party duopoly just have, sway over everything. But I will say this, the Republicans, they didn't do this. They didn't do it in the primary. They allowed Trump to actually win. That's what occurred. They allowed him to win. And they thought, I think the reason they allowed Trump to win is because they thought he'd get thrashed by Hillary Clinton, and they would have rather, a lot of these never-Trumpers would have preferred Hillary over Trump. This is how screwed up politics is now. It's not as simple as left-right anymore. It's more like left populist, right populist. We kind of want the same things. There's cultural Marxism over here that people on the right cannot stand. Some on the left understand why the people on the right don't like it, but not enough of them do. And so, they're willing to go to bat for, super weird constituencies, but they're not willing to go to bat for just regular, ordinary people. So again, it's but here we are in a system now that is so corrupted, and these are things. It's just like what I did a video about, injecting $1.5 trillion into the financial markets. Lee Camp is going to have a field day with that too. Jimmy Dore yesterday, incredible video he did about that. I'm in this for the long haul. This is what I do now. And so I appreciate you guys supporting me. If you can support me financially, great. There'll be a way to do that. You can go over to PayPal, davidjspuria@gmx.com. There's also a link for Patreon, which I have a music-based YouTube channel, and the Patreon was set up for that channel, but you can still, join Patreon and then send me messages over there if you've got ideas for videos, or you just want to kind of vent and talk about the current political climate, and you obviously help support this channel. On average, we're making about $10 a day doing videos, and it is what it is. That's why I have another channel, and then I have Rockfin, but now we've got the token that was supposedly worth 66 cents over there is now worth 18 cents. So cryptocurrency might not be the way to go. We shall see. But thanks for watching. And again, check how your local community votes, because voter disenfranchisement and just the fact that there's blatant fraud and these machines are being rigged against candidates who would truly shake up the political establishment, that's something that is seriously worth kind of marching in the streets about. But will we? Probably not. All right, see you soon.